a really fundamental exercise I would encourage you to include in your program on a very frequent basis. You're going to work on poles on a circle, and what you'll need is 4 to 6 poles. Lay them out so that center to center they're 9 feet apart. And then what you're going to do is you're going to walk, trot, and canter, or whatever gaits are appropriate for your horse's current fitness and physical level of ability. You're going to really focus on your track and being very specific with how you go through these poles. So at the walk, you're going to fit in 3 steps. The trot, they're 2 steps apart, and the canter, they're 1 step apart. Now, obviously, adjust the poles a little bit for your horse. If your horse is extremely long strided, they might need a little bit extra space. If your horse has a short stride, they might need them slightly tightened up. So the 9 foot is kind of for your average horse. But by focusing on being very specific about going around this and getting even steps between the poles, it really helps you work on both your steering and able to stay on a consistent track, which no matter what you do with your horse is an excellent skill. But it also really helps the horse work on their evenness of their step length and their rhythm. Because if they're constantly opening and closing their stride, changing their rhythm, changing their tempo, you're not going to be able to get consistent step lengths between the poles. And so that skill is something you can take into, all different facets of horse training. And it's also fantastic for step development because one of the things we're trying to do is get the horse to be consistent with how they move their body and get strengthened in like ranges and modes of movement that are really helpful for carrying a rider and doing the work we ask them to do. And this exercise really gets to the heart of that. So if you find your horse is struggling, like let's say that they can do 2 or maybe 3 pulls in a row pretty consistently, but then that 4th or 5th or 6th one is too difficult, just regress the exercise and take them down to the couple pulls they can manage. And then as they get stronger and they're able to hold that step, that's a quality step. The bottom of their neck is relaxed. They're they act relaxed about it. They're not acting anxious. You can slowly add those pulls back in. And then as they get stronger, you can add either more pulls or maybe you'll just roll the pulls out a couple inches so you're very slightly opening their step. Like there's a lot you could do with this exercise. You could do this every week on a very consistent basis and not get bored or find that it's, getting too easy, because you can just add a little variable or take away a little variable to adjust it for what your horse needs. So give that a try and let me know what you think.